So another liberal state is changing their concealed carry permit laws to try and avoid a favorable Supreme Court ruling in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen case. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think it's time for the Supreme Court to once again uphold our right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. I also want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. So like I said in the intro, in this video, I want to talk about how the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen Supreme Court concealed carry case coming out of the state of New York has just resulted in the state of Hawaii trying to preemptively change their concealed carry permit laws. The state of Hawaii has introduced a new bill, being SB 2800, which seeks to change various rules in relation to concealed carry within the state, and these changes include requiring you to also carry a taser if you want to concealed carry. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what's going on in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen case, or you don't understand why it's so important, let me explain real quick. New York State Rifle and Pistol Association is a challenge to the state of New York's concealed carry permit requirements. The state requires a person to provide proper cause to be issued a permit to carry concealed. The issue is that the state of New York does not consider self-defense a proper cause, and therefore on that justification alone, people have their permits denied. Essentially, a person has to distinguish themselves from the average person to be granted a permit to carry. The whole question before the Supreme Court is whether the state of New York violated the Second Amendment with their May issue licensing scheme that does not treat self-defense as a sufficient justification for a permit to be granted. In reaction to this looming decision and concerns that the Supreme Court will likely rule in favor of the right to actually concealed carry, the state of Hawaii has introduced a new bill to change their laws, that bill being SB 2800. So this new bill states, the legislator believes that robust training in firearms use to prepare for chaotic situations, such as an active shooter event, can save lives. Further, laws that require de-escalation training will give members of the public confidence that those among them who may be permitted to carry a firearm in public are trained and capable of safe firearm use. Finally, the legislator believes it is prudent for anyone carrying a firearm to also carry a non-lethal electric gun, also known as a taser, to ensure a non-lethal option to minimize the risk of unintended injuries or fatalities in difficult situations. The bill goes on to state, the purpose of this act is to ensure public safety by improving the training of individuals who are licensed to carry handguns, by 1. Requiring all individuals to undergo additional training before applying for or renewing a license to carry a handgun. 2. Requiring any individual applying for or renewing a license to carry a handgun to undergo the same review as an individual applying or renewing a license to carry a handgun. 3. Reducing the term of a license to carry a handgun for 1 year to 6 months to ensure those permitted are properly trained at all times. And 4, requiring non-lethal electric guns, also known as tasers, to be carried when carrying a firearm. So what will all these additional requirements look like that you have to meet before you can actually concealed carry in the state of Hawaii, and why are they changing all these rules? Well, the first thing that they will do is that they're going to require 2 hours of live fire training and then 4 hours of classroom instruction that must include a video on the safe use, handling, and storage of firearms and firearms safety in the home, and education on the firearm laws of the state. Now, that's sort of the baseline I believe that existed in the law before. The bill then adds onto that an issuing agency, if they want, can require 16 more hours of training on top of those 6 hours that were already required. So 22 hours total training will be required before someone is actually issued a permit. The additional 16 hours includes how to properly carry weapons in public, situation de-escalation, interaction with law enforcement, and the proper use of weapon as a last resort. So just there, Hawaii is drastically increasing training from 6 hours to potentially 22 hours. And that is not just for the initial application, but that is going to be 22 hours every time you apply or renew your license. Now, the state of Hawaii didn't stop there. They didn't just increase the amount of hours that you have to have training-wise to be issued a permit. They also went as far as to actually reduce the term length of these permits, and they changed it from a 1-year permit to carry concealed to only a 6-month permit. On top of that, since the bill requires you provide proof of completion of your training 30 days before you renew or apply for a permit, this bill essentially makes it so that you have to renew every 6 months, and also you have to meet that 22-hour requirement every 5 months, because again, you have to have that completed before you actually renew, and it has to be done 30 days before that renewal. So the state is putting you in this perpetual cycle of paying fees and having to do this excessive training, and putting you in this cycle of every 5 months you're having to do this. You're always training, you're always paying these fees. And also keep in mind, a lot of these fees and training costs are not cheap. Here in California, I have to pay about $300 every time I renew my CCW. And imagine having to do that every 5 months. And to top it all off, this bill then requires you to also have to carry a stun gun or a taser if you also want to carry a handgun concealed. The bill states, also, carry on the person an electric gun as defined in section 134-1, which is intended to be non-lethal by design whenever the licensee carries a pistol or revolver pursuant to the license. So you heard that right. The state of Hawaii is now going to require all CCW holders also to carry a stun gun or a taser if they want to carry concealed. And the indication from the bill requiring various training is that they will push concealed carry holders to use non-lethal means before ever resulting to lethal force. My first big issue with this is that a state should not be mandating what type of arms I should actually be using first if I feel like my life is in jeopardy and I need to actually protect my life. Second, I see these kind of mandates of you carrying a taser or electric gun with you, creating some major litigation issues where someone has to defend their life with a handgun. They believe that they are justified in defending their life with lethal force, but then all of a sudden they're going to get jammed up by a prosecutor in Hawaii who is going to argue, well, you had a stun gun with you. Why didn't you just use that? Why did you use your handgun? Yeah, you may have been in fear of your life, but the stun gun would have done just fine. You didn't actually have to deploy your handgun. So in my opinion, this is going to create a lot of litigation issues in the state of Hawaii. Not to mention, that's just more things that someone is going to have to buy and carry on their person every single day if they want a concealed carry. So this bill is a mess, and it's really nothing more than a backdoor attempt to restrict concealed carry in Hawaii. States like New York and Hawaii are already gearing up to try and skirt a favorable Supreme Court ruling in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case. Now, one good thing is that Hawaii and the state of New York have really tipped their hands early. So there is potential that the Supreme Court could see what they're trying to do with these various bills and prevent these states from putting in place these types of restrictions to skirt the ruling that the Supreme Court is going to issue. This is something Kavanaugh mentioned during oral arguments when he said a state having a shall issue scheme which could result from their decision, but creating obscure restrictions and requirements really is not actually shall issue. It's more of a discretionary shall issue, which really just may issue, and it's just a way for a state to actually avoid issuing these permits. So it was something that Kavanaugh was concerned about. Here we see states preemptively trying to do this. Hopefully the Supreme Court sees what they're trying to do and actually writes this out in their decision and prevents these states from doing these types of things. So help spread the word about what Hawaii is trying to do so that the court becomes aware and stops it in their tracks. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and this type of two-way news. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could have ever thought. All this success of this channel is really because of you guys in the community that we've built here. I know I played some part in it, but really I cannot thank you guys enough. It's really the community, you guys watching these videos, liking, commenting, sharing, that really actually helps grow this channel. So thank you so much for all of your support. If you don't have a comment in mind, just comment down below that you're commenting to fuel the algorithm. And also, if you're a new subscriber or a longtime lurker and you recently subscribed, go ahead and comment down below that you're a new subscriber and I will make sure I comment back to you. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars. This nation will be maintained by armed scholars.